You won't believe what just happened on Cardano, right? I woke up to news that 24 billion tokens were quietly minted in the dead of the night. And no, it's not a drill. There's a secretive Cardano project that is about to launch, and it might just change everything for crypto forever. Now, I'm an ADA investor who's been in the Cardano game for a rather long time, and today I kind of feel like I've stumbled onto a hidden treasure map. Now, it's called Midnight, Cardano's upcoming privacy-focused sidechain, and the journey that I took to uncover what's going on has me more excited than I've been in many years. Now, this isn't just another token, it's a full-blown narrative with puzzles, airdrops, and a mission to bring privacy to the blockchain. By the end of this story, you're going to see why everyone's talking about Midnight and why it could be a game changer for Cardano's future. And stick around here because I'll also share a quick update on a project that I'm testing called Unity, plus how you could earn crypto and support the channel through our Cardano stake pool and affiliate links. Now there's a lot to cover off, so let's get straight to it. Let me start at the beginning, the moment that I nearly did a double take this morning. Now I saw a headline that Cardano's Midnight team just minted the entire supply of Night tokens, all 24 billion of them, in one go. 24 billion tokens, minted literally overnight on the Cardano blockchain. Now as a Cardano enthusiast, my heart started racing. Why would they mint everything up front before the network even launches? Was this a mistake? Was it a hack? Or something else entirely? My curiosity, of course, went through the roof, and I had to investigate more. Turns out that it was totally intentional, because the Midnight team minted all 24 billion Night tokens on Cardano native assets, or as a Cardano native asset, I should say. Basically, tokens that are on Cardano's main chain. Now, by doing that, they've given Night an on-chain birth certificate, a permanent verifiable record on Cardano. In other words, from day one, every single token is accounted for on the blockchain. There's no mystery, right? No, we'll mint more later, just all the tokens created now and held in place. In fact, they locked the whole lot into a smart contract to prevent any sneaky early transactions before the official launch phase are done. Now, that means that none of those tokens can move or be sold until certain conditions are met, which is a big relief because it ensures fairness and transparency from the get-go. No insider dumps, no day one shenanigans. It's like the tokens are frozen in carbonite until the time is just right. So, what is the right time? And this is where the story gets really interesting, because Midnight's rollout plan isn't just launch tokens on exchanges, hope for the moon, right? No. They've planned a multi-stage community distribution that feels like a cryptographic adventure. Right? Now, the first stage is something that they've dubbed the Glacier drop, basically a massive airdrop of Night tokens to the community. And when I say massive, I mean it's spanning millions of people across multiple different blockchains. Over 34 million wallets were eligible to claim this token, spread across not just Cardano, but Bitcoin, Ethereum, Solana, XRP, and Binance BNB networks too. So think about that then. Cardano is literally airdropping tokens to Bitcoin and Ethereum holders, among others. It's a pretty bold move, almost like an invitation, saying, hey, crypto world, come and check out what we're building over here on the Cardano sidechain. If you qualified for that airdrop, then you had a window to claim your tokens. That claim window closed at 1300 hours UTC on October 20th, 2025. And people showed up for it. Billions of Night tokens were claimed during the Glacier drop phase. Now, this wasn't some tiny test either. It was a huge kickoff. Now, if you're hearing this and thinking, wait, I missed it, did I miss free tokens? Well, the initial claim phase is done, but the story isn't over. In fact, it's just getting started. Next comes something straight out of a video game, the Scavenger Mine. So instead of a typical second airdrop round, Midnight is saying, all right, So you want some more tokens. Simple. Solve some puzzles for us. And I'm not even kidding you here. Participants will be able to complete puzzles or computational challenges to actually earn additional Knight tokens. It's kind of like a treasure hunt for crypto. Now, I love this because it turns the token distribution into an engaging community event rather than another free-for-all. Now, it reminds me of those very early kind of ARGs, or if you've seen kind of Ready Player One, that quest for hidden Easter eggs, right? Only here, the Easter egg is some extra midnight tokens in your wallet. It's a pretty clever way to get people talking and learning about the project. Now, I can already imagine folks on Reddit and Discord teaming up to figure out the clues. And yes, if you're wondering, I'll definitely be trying my hand at the Scavenger Mine puzzles too. Now, I mean, who could resist a crypto puzzle challenge, right? After the puzzles, we hit the final stage, aptly called the redemption phase. And this is where everything comes together. Once the Glacier drop and Scavenger Mines are done, eligible users can finally claim their Knight tokens for real. They'll be unlocked from that big smart contract. And this is the moment when those frozen 24 billion tokens start circulating. The redemption phase is, or at least will also activate all of the other allocations, right? Things like the network reserves, the rewards for block producers, and allocations for partners and other key participants. Basically, all of the pieces of the tokenomics puzzle fall into place here. And the key takeaway is this: no one touches a token until all of the fair distribution phases and steps are done. It's a measured, transparent rollout, very Cardano-esque, right? Given Cardano's reputation for doing things carefully and systematically. Now, you might be thinking, okay, cool, free tokens and puzzles, but why does any of this even matter? Well, what's the big deal with Midnight itself? These are some excellent questions, and I'm glad you asked, because Midnight isn't just a token. It's a whole new blockchain in the Cardano ecosystem. And its focus? Privacy, right? Cardano is getting a privacy sidechain. As someone who's been in ADA for many years, this is pretty huge, right? Privacy is kind of like the final boss of blockchain technology, right? Bitcoin and Ethereum are great, but everything that you do on those networks is public for the world to see. Now, Midnight, it aims to change that by using advanced cryptography, specifically zero-knowledge proofs, to let you choose what stays private. They call it bringing rational privacy to blockchain. Now, what does that really even mean? Well, in simple terms, not everything should be visible on a blockchain, right? Sometimes you need confidentiality, but you also might need to prove things about your data, right? Midnight is basically tackling that paradox head on. Here is a standout feature. Midnight's privacy isn't an all or nothing thing. It's not like some coins where everything is 100% anonymous and regulators instantly want to panic. Instead, you choose total privacy or partial privacy. You decide what information to keep private and who can see it. Think of it like having a privacy dial in your hands. For example, a business could use Midnight to do a transaction where the amounts and addresses are shielded from the public, but they could, selectively share that information with an auditor or a regulator to stay all compliant, right? Now, by letting users control what information they reveal, Midnight goes beyond traditional privacy coins, right? It's privacy with accountability. So imagine having tinted windows on your car, right? You get privacy, but you can still roll them down when it's necessary. That's the philosophy here, right? It's not about hiding illegal activity. It's about protecting sensitive data while still operating within the rules. Now, in an era where everyone is worried about surveillance and data leaks, Britcard as an example, who wants a digital ID, right? Anyway, this could be an absolute draw, a big draw for businesses and individuals alike. And get this, Midnight's mainnet is on track to launch in Q4 of 2025. That is literally just around the corner. Now, the team has been quietly building this for many years. I remember when it was announced up at Scotfest in 2022, and I was there live streaming the whole thing. And we're potentially just weeks away now from actually seeing it go live. They've been doing testnets, expanding compatibility. They even added support for hardware wallets like Ledger and Trezor for the airdrop eligibility checks, although there were some issues in the early days. So making sure that Bitcoin holders could verify safely, of course. Now, this has been a long time in the coming, right? And as a Cardano holder, I feel like we're finally about to unlock a whole new level for the ecosystem. Now, let's talk about the Knight token itself for just a minute. Beyond being handed out freely to kickstart the adoption, what is it actually used for? Right? Why might you actually want to hold on to these Knight tokens instead of just dumping them when you get the chance to? Well, the answer actually lies in something called dust. Not dust as in, tiny leftover transaction amounts, most of the Bitcoin wallets. No, not that kind of dust. Dust is the resource used for fees on the Midnight chain. And here's the genius part of all of this. Holding Knight generates dust. In other words, if you have Knight tokens, then you earn the ability to use the Midnight network essentially for free over time, because your tokens produce the fuel that pays for the transactions. It's kind of like earning your own gas credits. This means that Knight isn't a speculative token. It actually has a built-in utility that encourages people to keep it. If Midnight takes off, everyone who wants to run smart contracts or transact privately on the sidechain will actually need dust, which they get by either holding or leasing Knight tokens. In fact, the design encourages you to think of Knight as a productive capital. Right? You can potentially lease out your dust generation rights to other users who need it. It's almost like owning a property and then renting it out. A very different model from just paying gas fees to miners or validators. Now, this could create a whole new mini ecosystem within Cardano's ecosystem, and it gives long-term value to the token beyond just governance. Long story short here, Knight will be the key to unlocking Midnight's features. So the distribution that we talked about is actually seeding the user base with people who can actually use the network from day one. As an ADA investor, I have to admit that this has me pretty hyped up. Like, Cardano has always kind of taken a research-heavy, slow and steady approach. Sometimes that meant being late to the party. Smart contracts arrived later than maybe we wanted. But when features do come, they tend to be pretty robust. Now, Midnight could be the feature that brings a surge of new interest. Right? We're talking potential use cases in finance, healthcare, supply chains, anywhere that data privacy is crucial but still want the immutability and accountability of a blockchain. And because Midnight is a sidechain of Cardano, it benefits from Cardano's security and decentralization. It's not just some random separate coin bolted on for the hype. It's designed to be a partner chain. Now, there are already many partnerships lined up and growing developer ecosystem. Formal verification tools to keep on smart contracts all safe, akin support for developers who prefer that language, and zero-knowledge smart contracts planned for mainnet. This is cutting-edge stuff. For a self-professed crypto nerd like me, it's the perfect mix of real-world need and technical elegance. Now, before I go any further, I want to hit pause here for something very important. Now, this might just shock you, but I'm not a financial advisor, and nothing in this video is financial advice. Cryptocurrencies are highly volatile, and you could lose all of the money that you invest. You should always do your own research and consult a qualified professional. After all, your investments are entirely your responsibility, and you should know that nothing is ever guaranteed when it comes to investing. Neither I, this channel, nor YouTube are liable for any losses, and this video is for entertainment and educational purposes only. All right, I'm glad that we got that out of the way. Let's get back to the story. Now, we've got this epic midnight launch on the horizon, tokens distributed far and wide, a network promising privacy and compliance features, and Cardano's community buzzing with anticipation. Now, some people are already calling midnight a make or break moment for Cardano's adoption. Now, I wouldn't go that far necessarily. Cardano has a lot going for it regardless. But what I do believe is that midnight could be a huge catalyst. Now, if it delivers on its promises, it could attract an influx of new users and developers to the ecosystem. And if you're holding ADA like me, more adoption and utility is exactly what you want to see. Now, while we wait for Midnight's mainnet to drop and maybe solve some of those scavenger mine puzzles in the meantime, there are a few other things that I'm doing in my crypto journey that I want to share with you guys, because this channel is all about learning and finding ways to make your crypto work harder for you. One of those things that I'm messing around with is called Unity. Long-term viewers already know that I've mentioned Unity in several videos, so this won't be a plot twist for you guys. But if you are new here, then let me just fill you in real quick. Now, if you're not new, here's the latest update as well for my Unity adventure. Now, Unity is a project that caught my attention as a way to kind of earn more crypto passively. The concept is actually kind of straightforward and genius at the same time. You run the Unity app on devices like smartphones, and by doing so, you contribute to a decentralized telecoms network, and you earn rewards in crypto for doing so. It's a bit like staking or light mining, but instead of buying expensive hardware, you're just using idle devices to work harder for you. I was intrigued enough that I actually purchased a Unity Masternode NFT, which gave me 200 licenses. Now, I'm not going to hook up 200 phones on day one. I'm starting off with these 10 phones over here as a kind of start, a test, I guess. 10 phones when the Unity app goes live. Now, if that trial run goes well, I'm going to scale it up. The neat part is that Unity lets you choose how you want to be paid out from the rewards that you earn. Now, I'm going to be taking my payouts in Bitcoin, Ethereum, ADA, and XRP. A very simple way to stack more of the assets that I already believe in, more passively and over time. And just to kind of be crystal clear here, Unity isn't the main focus of today's video. I'm not hyping it up. I'm just curious. And if you are curious about it, then I always recommend that you read the light paper and check out their rewards calculator, and I'll link them in the description below. As with everything crypto, you've got to do your own research. For me, this is an experiment, and I'm going to share the results once those 10 devices, go live in a few weeks, and I've got a few more weeks maybe under their belt. I should also mention that I purchased a second and third Unity node, where I will be leasing licenses out to anyone who is interested in Unity but doesn't want to purchase a full master node with 200 licenses. By that way, if you want to try the concept without committing to a full node, you can lease a slot from me, right? I'll be having more information on this down in the description below and in the free educational Discord server. So if you're not already in the Discord, jump on in. It's a completely free educational community where we chat about projects like this, share the tips, and help each other navigate the crypto space. Now, Unity has been discussed plenty of times in there. Lots of people have full nodes, multiple in fact, and some have even leased some of the licenses from me. So you'll find people who can answer practical questions from first-hand experience. Shifting gears back to Cardano, and specifically how to make your ADA work harder for you, then I do have a shout out for something near and dear to my heart, our Cardano stake pool. Now, if you've been holding ADA and you're just letting it sit in your wallet doing nothing, hoping that the price will just moon, well, you'd probably need to hear this, because staking your ADA is, in my view, a bit of a no-brainer, right? When you stake, you actually help secure the network and you earn rewards. And unlike other chains, Cardano staking doesn't actually lock up your ADA. Your funds, they remain in your control 100% of the time. You can move them whenever you want, with no penalties whatsoever. There is literally no reason not to. It's literally just delegating your wallet stake to a pool. And I run a Cardano stake pool with the ticker CHEEK, C-H-E-E-K, and by delegating to the CHEEK pool, you're actually doing two things here. You're making your ADA work harder for you by generating rewards every single epoch, which is about every 5 days, by the way, and you're also supporting this channel here. right? So the more delegators that we have, the more stable the pool becomes, and the more that it actually helps us keep producing content like this for you guys. So if you're already staking with another pool, that's great. You're already earning rewards. But if you want to support what we do here, consider moving your stake over to the Cheek pool. It takes just a few clicks in your favorite kind of Cardano wallet. And if you haven't started staking at all yet, seriously, look into it. Whether it's with our pool or another, don't leave your passive ADA income on the table. With Cardano's upcoming developments like Midnight, there's even a special bonus for the network. Stake pool operators on Cardano will be connected to a broader ecosystem, and there's discussions about how Midnight's incentives will be rewards and will reward those producing blocks on the Midnight side of things as well. So that's exciting for the network's health and for the builders who keep on running things. Now, all the more reasons to actually get involved in staking right now and be a part of this growing growth story. Now, let me also share a personal strategy that has saved me more than once, right? You've got to have backup exchange accounts. Now, in crypto, exchanges can sometimes be unreliable, right? They get overloaded during the volatility. They go down or occasionally even freeze withdrawals, right? The last thing that you're going to want to be is stuck with an unable to access funds or to make a trade when the time really does matter. Now, my approach is to sign up, KYC if needed, and test out as many reputable exchanges as possible. Think of this as like having plan A, plan B, plan C, and plan D. Right? If exchange A is down, then I'm already set up on exchange B. And if a coin isn't trading in my usual platform, chances are that I'll have an account on another that it is. Now, this strategy has paid off for me multiple times over. If you're wondering where to start, then I've got links to all of the exchanges that I personally use on my website and referenced in the description below. Now, two that I would like to mention, kind of name dropping, I guess, are 𝗗𝗀𝘀 and BitGet, but there are others that I think are really important to sign up to as well, such as LBank and Kraken and so forth. But BitGet and 𝗗𝗀𝘀 though, which I have found to be both very reliable options. And again, on the website, you'll find all of the affiliate links, which means that if you do want to support the channel and no extra cost to you, clicking those links will do exactly that. Now, it helps us keep making these deep dive videos while giving you more tools in your trading toolkit. Well, whichever exchanges you do use, please enable two-factor authentication or use a passkey where possible, set very strong passwords, and don't store large balances on any exchange longer than necessary. Use exchanges as tools, not as long-term storage. Let's circle back to Midnight and why I'm framing this as a bit of a turning point. For years, Cardano has been underestimated. The narrative has often been they're slow, they're academic, they're theoretical. But you know what? Shipping something as ambitious as a privacy sidechain that balances confidentiality with compliance is not easy. Midnight's approach, a carefully planned token distribution, a massive cross-chain outreach, a gamified puzzle phase, and a clear path to mainnet. It shows a level of coordination that we haven't often seen in this space. Now, it's not just the tech, it's the rollout strategy that impresses me. Right? Get tokens into the hands of millions of people, educate the community through engaging scavenger hunts, and then open the gates and let people redeem, build, and transact with privacy that they control. There's also the broader cultural movement here, and moment, I should say, that we're living in a time when data privacy is the front page news, right? Every other week, there's a story about companies mishandling user data or governments debating surveillance powers. People want tools that let them protect what matters without forcing them to go off grid. Midnight could be one of those tools, a way to shield sensitive details while still benefiting from transparency and security of a blockchain where appropriate. That's not just a feature, that's a philosophy that fits the world that we're actually moving into. If you are wondering what I'm doing personally, beyond staking and preparing for Midnight's launch, I'm keeping my playbook simple and disciplined. I'm staying diversified within crypto, I'm focusing on projects with real technical merit, and I'm constantly pressure testing my assumptions. I keep notes on what convinced me about a project, what would make me change my mind, and how I'll measure progress. Now, Midnight checks many of the boxes that I care about: strong technical foundation, clear utility, thoughtful distribution, and a credible path to adoption. Now, the market will do what it does in the short term, but if the network works as designed and developers find it usable, the long-term story gets interesting. If you're part of the Cardano community already, then you know how strong the builder culture is. From stake pool operators to open-sourced contributors, from educators to devs pushing new languages and tools. Cardano has a habit of building with intention. Right? Midnight taps into that same ethos with an added layer that opens doors to use cases that Cardano hasn't been able to serve as well until now. That's why I'm excited. Not because I expect a magic pump, but because I see new doors that are opening. To wrap all of this up, here is my simple checklist for anyone watching who wants to be prepared. 1. If you're eligible for Night via the earlier phases, make sure that you understand how the redemption phase will work so that you can claim. 2. Keep an eye out for the Scavenger Mine puzzles if you enjoy a good old challenge. 3. Consider staking your ADA if you haven't done so already. It's one of the easiest ways to make your crypto work for you while supporting the network. And if you like to support this channel, 𝗗𝗶𝘀𝗰𝗋 stake pool ticker is cheek. 4. Have backup exchanges ready so that you're never locked out of action. 5. If passive experiments interest you, then keep an eye on Unity, right? I'll report results once the 10-device pilot is live. And if you want to try Unity without buying a full node, then I'll lease out licenses from my second and third node via our website and our Discord server. Most importantly, join the conversation. Right? Our Discord is free, it's welcoming and focused on education. Right? Whether you're brand new to crypto or you've been here since the early days, you're going to find people in there who are already here, ready to share their insights and learn alongside you. Right? We'll be discussing Midnight a lot as mainnet approaches, and I'm going to post updates on staking, Unity, exchange strategies, and anything and everything else between that helps you stay one step ahead. Cardano has always been a long game for me. Patience, research, steady conviction. Midnight feels like one of those moments where patience might pay off in more than one way, right? Not just in price action, but in utility, privacy, and broader adoption. And I'm ready for the next chapter, and I hope that this helps you get ready too. And if you found this story as fascinating as I did, be sure to hit that like button and the subscribe button so you don't miss the next chapter. Thanks for watching.